So guys, once again, thanks for joining this particular training. I am welcoming you all, and today I will go with the SDN training day one. My name is Hemu. I am like CCI security certified, and I have also done CCI data center written and CCI routing and switching written, and I'm a like PCI certified as well in Palo Alto. So what I will do, I will in your, if I'll say SDN. So if I'll tell you the full form SDN is, SDN stand for software defined wide area networking. So it's a software defined wide area networking, guys. This is the full form of SD-WAN. Okay, so let me just go through with the actual definition of this SD-WAN solution, what it is. So Cisco SD-WAN is a wide area network or WAN technology or the overlay architecture that applies the principle of software defined networking, which is SDN. So which means your SDN is a one of the SDN solution basically. It is designed to meet the needs of modern enterprise applications and the rapidly growing security requirements. So guys, you have seen due to COVID, right? Our application nowadays, everyone have migrated their application over the cloud environment, right? And if you are connecting with these applications, because your traffic will go through the your dia sites where you will get the direct internet access, right? And if your traffic is going through your data center or towards your HQ where you have a dia setup, you will see some kind of performance issue with regards to your application, right? So to overcome these kind of problems, basically, they have come up with these kind of solution. Okay. Now, from Cisco, basically, Cisco have two types of SD-WAN solution. First solution is Meraki, and another one is viptela. So this Meraki solution, it is designed for small and mid-sized companies basically. So if you have a small organization, this particular solution is designed for these companies only. Okay. Now, this Cisco viptela SD-WAN solution, what it will do, it is basically designed for large scale enterprise level network or large scale enterprise customers basically. Okay. And it is also having some advanced features. So these features you will not get in your Cisco Meraki solution, but in Cisco viptela you will get all such kind of solutions. Okay. So what I will do, because you know SD-WAN is a SDN solution, right? So for to understand the SDN, we have to understand the what is SDN solution, right? SDN stand for software defined networking. So what I can do, let me just go with one of the diagram here, so you will get some idea. So in traditional network, guys, what we used to have, we used to have some switches, right? So these are your access layer switch. Okay, so let me just design all these switches here. So these are your access layer switch, guys. Let's suppose this is switch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Behind this switch, guys, you have your employees, PCs, you have a servers, right? Everything you have behind these particular switches, and they have a connectivity with them, right? Like this. Now, so this is your access layer. Now, in traditional networking, you have also heard there is a one more layer we have between these switches. That layer is known as a distribution layer, right? So let's suppose these are our distribution layer switch. Let's say switch 1 and switch 2. This is your distribution layer. If you will understand this design, you will able to understand the SDN technology or SD-WAN technology, guys, properly, right? All these switches, they have a connectivity like this. So I'm just connecting like that only. And after that distribution layer, so is what you have now. Here you have generally some layer 3 switches basically. And I can say these are your Nexus 9K switches basically, which are running your ACI environment, right? And you have a connectivity with these ACI switches like that. Maybe you have a multiple link in the data center, and maybe you don't have one switch, maybe you have one and one more switch. This is also a L3 switch, which is also Nexus 9K series switch. Now, after these switches, what we have? We generally have a firewalls, right? So this is your perimeter firewall. Maybe you are running your firewall in HS. Let's say this is your firewall 1 and this is your firewall 2. And we have a connectivity like this between these firewalls. And this is your perimeter firewall. And this particular is your core layer, I can say, according to the 3-tier architecture of switches, right? Now these firewalls basically have a direct connectivity with routers here. Let's suppose these are your routers. So we have here R1 router and we have here R2 router. And we have a connectivity like this. And after that, these routers, they have a connectivity with one of the internet service provider, maybe ISP1. And we have another internet service provider. This is your MPLS link. Right? Cool. So we have such kind of setup. So this is one of the traditional design, guys. And that design we have seen in the industries a lot, guys. Okay. And I can say these are your WAN routers. What? These are your WAN routers. Now, we are discussing here SDN technology. What is software defined networking, guys? Okay. So what happens? Let's suppose you are sitting somewhere here. Okay. And if let's say you want to configure something on this switch, or maybe something this way, let's say you want to configure something on this way, what do you have to do? So maybe this is your somewhere jump server, maybe in internet or over the Citrix environment, right? Where you will get the connectivity through VPNs, through the internet, or maybe through the MPLS link, right? Whatever the connectivity we are having, right? So what used to happen? We have to basically log in into each device and we have to do the configuration, right? And let's suppose we have some kind of backup servers as well. So we have to take the backup of the configuration of these devices into these backup servers, right? And the monitoring, let's say you want to do some kind of monitoring, so maybe you have some kind of monitoring tool as well, and we are basically doing all these monitoring, let's suppose somewhere from your maybe your HQ side, this is your head office side or HQ side. Now what used to happen basically, so to to resolve these kind of problems, because in this design we have a lots of issues basically, so to manage your access layer switches, to manage your distribution layer switches, what Cisco have come up with? Cisco have come up with the solution called as SDXS. So SDXS is one of the SDN solution, guys. To manage your Nexus switches, these switches basically, these are your data center level switches, right? Cisco have come up with the another SDN solution is known as ACI. This is also one of the SDN solution. And to manage these WAN routers basically, because to manage these WAN routers, Cisco have come up with one of the solution which is known as SD-WAN, guys. So now what we are going to discuss on these 5 days, we will focus on these routers, how we can basically manage these routers, guys. So if I'll say SDN, so we have 3 types of SDN solution from Cisco. For your LAN network, we have a SDXS. For your data center switches, we have a ACI. And for your WAN routers, we have SD-WAN, guys. So this is the simple definition of your SDN solution, guys. Any questions on that? If you have any question, just write on a chat, or if you will understand Understand the SDN solution for access layer and distribution layer switches. If you will understood the SDN solution for your core switch core layer, if you will understood the SDN solution for WAN routers, guys. Now, what I will do, let me just explain here one more time. So, SDN stands for software defined networking. In traditional network design, basically, right? We have these WAN routers or we have these WAN edges, right? These are the routers who is connecting you with the internet service provider, maybe with the MPLS or maybe with the internet, right? So to manage these particular routers efficiently, what we have a SD-WAN solution. To basically maintain or to manage your core layer routers or layer 3 switches, which is your Nexus 9 key switches, we have a ACI, which is also one of the SDN solution. To manage your LAN network or LAN switches, which is your access layer switches and distribution layer switches, we have a one of the SDN solution is known as SDXs. Okay. Now, why we basically have launched these particular SDN solution? So we have launched these SDN solution because in this design, if you will see, if you want to manage, if you want to configure these switches, right, or these particular devices, this is just a typical design of one of the site, guys. Let's suppose you have 100 sites or you have a 200 site. What you will do, how you will manage all these sites, right? To manage all these sites, it's become a very tedious task for you guys, right? And if you want a proper management of these sites, what you have to adopt the SDN solutions, guys, right? So what they will do in traditional design, what used to happen, we have a distributed control, right? We don't have any kind of device who can manage all these particular switches, all this particular infrastructure from one place. We don't have anything, right? We don't have any kind of device. So to solve the, let me just close this one. To solve the problem of distributed control and to solve the problem manual configuration, let's suppose, guys, if backup is not happening due to any reason for this device or this device, it's become very hard for you to basically configure these devices from the scratch, right? If backup, you don't have a backup files and all. But let's suppose if you have any kind of controller here who is taking all the backup, even though if this router is become faulty and you did the RMA, right? You did the RMA after receiving this new device, you can just put this device because you are managing all these things from this particular controller. This controller is known as SDN controller, guys. So what they will solve the problem of your distributed control and manual configuration. These kind of problems has been solved by the SDN solution, guys. Let's suppose we have a 100 sites in the environment and we wants to build these sites from scratch, guys. It's become very hard to basically do the configuration of each and every sites, right? But if you have a one place where you can create a template, where you can create some kind of common configuration template and you can push into all these sites, you can able to basically build these sites in a very limited time. So SDN solution basically solves the problem of scalability. Let's suppose you have 100 branches where you have a 200 routers or 200 devices and you want to do the upgrade of these devices. If you will upgrade individual devices, it will take a months of time to you guys, right? But with the help of this SDN solution, because it has something called SDN controller, from that controller you can able to upgrade all these devices just in a one go. You can just push the file from that particular controller and you can able to upgrade it easily, right? So these kind of basically problems are there in your traditional networks, and these kind of problems basically Due to these kind of problems, Cisco have come up with these SDN solution for data center environment, for your WAN environment, and for your LAN environment. Basically, your config management is very difficult in your traditional WAN environment, but now your config management is very easy. Your troubleshooting is very difficult in your old environment, but nowadays what you can able to troubleshoot all the device problem from this particular single pane of glass, from this controller. Even though you can able to SHS into the device from here, you can check the health of that device from here only, basically. So such kind of problems is solved by the SDN technology, guys, or SDN solutions. Okay, now what SDN solution they offers the centralized control via SDN controllers. Basically, you can write the templates. What are the templates? Templates are the common configuration. Basically, let's suppose you have some kind of common configuration. That time what you can basically create the template, and you can push this template into all your one branch or more than one branch, 100 branch, 200 branches. You can able to do that easily. And the best part of your SDN technology, you can use the automation things. You can, if you are good with the Python scripting and all, you can able to program all these things, basically. So you will get the automation stuffs there. There is a separation of management plane and data plane. This part I will discuss later, guys. Don't worry. So in SDN solution, they have separated your management plane and data plane. Now, initially, let's suppose you have a 200 sites. In that case, if you will put 3 engineers on each site, you need a more engineers, right? But due to SDN solution, you need a very less network engineers, because you are now controlling whole infrastructure from one place, from one device, basically. Okay, so such kind of issues is solved by this particular SDN solution. You can do the automatic config backup, right? All these, you can do the troubleshooting. So such kind of things you will get. Now Cisco has offered 3 SDN solution: SD access for your local, your LAN environment, where we have a one controller is known as DNAC. This is the SD access controller. The name is DNAC, guys. So we use DNAC controllers for your LAN network. For data center, we have a controller is ACI, basically. So we have a ACI switches in your data centers, and the controller name is Epic. So generally, like in your Palo Alto firewall, we have a Panorama, right? In your Cisco FTD, we have a FMC, right? In similar way, to manage your Nexus switches who is running ACI, we have a Epic controller. And guys, in your SD-WAN, that SD-WAN we use for managing your WAN edge devices and the controllers. So we have a 3 controllers: vManage, vSmart, and vMod, guys. I have just put the name here. I will not explain anything for now, guys. Okay, regarding vManage, vSmart, and vMod. Okay, now, because if you will see the definition of your SD-WAN, what Cisco SD-WAN is used for managing your wide area network, right? So first, now we will basically understand the wide area network. What is your wide area network? What is your WAN? So let me just give you an example of WAN, guys. I will explain the definition later. So let me just give you one example of WAN. So let me just make some space here. Okay, cool. So let's suppose we are basically, let's suppose we have one company here. This company name is, let's suppose, Sianets.com. This is the Sianets.com office. Now, let's suppose this particular office we are having in Gurgaon. So this is one of the location where we are having one Sianet office. Now, let's suppose in this office, what we have few users. So these are the few users I'm having. And I do have few servers here. So we do have few servers here, like server 1, server 2, server 3, server 4, and server 5. So let's suppose we have this server, and this is our, we can say this is our head office right now. And we are just working from this office, right? All these users, what they are basically accessing these servers and they are doing their day-to-day activities. Now, after a few days, or after, let's suppose 1 year, what now Sianets.com doing very good business, right? So what they have done, now they have basically, they are thinking of expanding their business, right? Right now they are just limited till Gurgaon location, but now what they are decided, they will open new branch, let's suppose in one of the location, let's suppose in Bangalore. So what they have basically open one branch in Bangalore location. Now in Bangalore location, what used to happen, let's suppose they have hired few peoples. Now these people, they are working from this particular Bangalore location. Now if these people, they wants to work, what they have to do, they have to access this particular server, right? And if they wants to access these servers, which means now we have to think about some of kind of solution, right? So what basically this Sianets people they have done, they have basically, there is a one guy, let's suppose service provider. So let's suppose we have a few service providers. So let me write down few names. Let's suppose British Telecom, we have a Tata, we have a Airtel, right? These are the people who is providing the service provider. We have a Verizon. So let's suppose now Sianets.com contacted this particular service provider, or I can say internet service provider, and they just asked some type of solution. They just ask, can we connect our head office with one of the branch office which is in Bangalore, and we have a head office in Gurgaon. So what these particular service provider, they will say yes. They will say, yeah, you can connect these particular branch office. We will provide you the connectivity. So let's suppose this is your service provider network. I'm not putting any specific name here. And here basically they just ask, you have to just purchase one router. So Sianets.com, what they have put one router, let's say R1 here in their head office, and they have put one more router here in their branch office. So let's suppose this is R2. Now what they will ask, you can connect your router with their network, and you can connect this router with their network, and you will get the connectivity between your head office and your branch office. And after that, these users, now they can able to access the servers which is in head office through this particular network. Now guys, what is your WAN? So WAN is this particular network basically. So WAN is a technology who will basically provide the connectivity between your head office and your branch office, or which basically provides the connectivity between your branch office and data centers, head office and data centers basically. Maybe see Gurgaon and Bangalore, they are far away, but they have this ISP, this internet service provider, and they are providing the connectivity basically. So what WAN is a technology who can provide the connectivity between your head office and branch office, guys. This is the definition of your WAN. Let's suppose now after a few months you have opened new branch here, maybe in one of the location, let's suppose Mumbai, and here you have also hired few people. Let's suppose this is your office in Mumbai. Here you will also purchase one router R3, and you have basically connected with the service provider network, and basically these people who is sitting in the Mumbai office, they can also able to access your servers which are present in your head office basically. Okay, so now the definition of your wide area network is, so WAN includes the infrastructure or technology which connects basically, let me just remove this multiple, which connects two or more sites basically, or which connects your multiple sites like your head office with the branches, your data center with the branches basically, right? With each other. This is the simple definition of your WAN, guys. Now, what are these technology basically we are using here for connecting this particular sites? What are these technologies? So here we can use multiple technology. First one is your internet. We can go with the internet connections. Second, we can go with the MPLS links. We can go with the MPLS connections. We can go with the point-to-point link, which is your leased line. All these comes under your, or fourth thing, let's suppose you don't have any service provider. In that case, you can also use your 4G or LTE environment. All these technology, they comes under your WAN environment basically. Okay, so this is the simple definition of your wide area network, guys. Now, so generally what we use, internet, MPLS, 4G are the technology which we generally use for connecting multiple sites with each other, guys. Now, why we use WAN infrastructure? So WAN provides the connection between branches, remote offices, home offices, head offices, and other data centers. So that's why we use WAN infrastructure, or your wide area network infrastructure. Now, guys, what we will discuss, this is the most important part of it basically. How WAN evaluated over the years basically, or we will see WAN evaluation. What we will look for here, WAN evaluation, how WAN is evolved over the years basically, right? So what used to happen initially, there was the first WAN technology release, which is known as leased line technology, guys. What they have, people have come up with the leased line technology. What are these people? They are the service provider, guys. So to connecting two offices, guys, what used to happen, because that technology, the service provider industry is in a boom basically during that time, because everyone wants to connect their offices. Because what used to happen in old days, if you don't have this particular WAN technology, what used to happen, you have to maintain, let's suppose you need a 5 servers here, then you need to maintain same 5 servers here, same 5 servers here, right? And to sync the data between these servers, the tedious task, guys, during that time, right? So when these service provider industry came in the market, it's become boom basically. These technology used a lot by the peoples, right? And the first technology which is used by the peoples is known as leased line. What they have used, the leased line, or we can say these are the point-to-point links basically. So what these lease line used to provide, they used to provide the connectivity between these particular service providers. What does this connectivity mean, guys? So let me just give you some idea here. So let's suppose on our data center, I'm having 10.1.0.0/20 network. I'm using this particular network on my head office environment. And here I'm using 10.2.0/0/20 and 10.3.0.0/20. I'm using these particular 3 networks basically into my branch office. So the main purpose of using this particular leased line solution or point-to-point link solution, what we used to do, our main goal is to advertise this particular 10.20 10.2.0.0/20 networks to your head office. And the same goal here as well, we want to advertise 10.3.0.0 network to your head office, and we want to advertise this 10.1.0.0/20 from head office to your branch offices. This is our end goal basically, right? So what used to happen, because these are the point-to-point links, which means what they will do, they will give you the feel you are connecting directly with this router and this router. Means these routers, it looks like you are connecting directly with each other. And after that, what you can do, you can run any kind of routing protocol like OSPF. You can go with OSPF, you can go with BGP, you can go with EIGRP, right? These protocols you will use for basically advertising these routes with each other, guys. So first band technology is leased line. The problem with this solution is that basically it is very, very costly. It's a very, very costly solution basically. So your leased line solution is a very, very costly solution. So what after that, what people have done, they have worked, because due to the cost of this solution is very high. So now your network engineers or network industry, they are start looking for some kind of another solution basically, which they can use for advertising these particular subnets with each other, and they can pay very, very minimum cost, right? So what they will do, and after that they have come up with one more solution which is known as ATMs or frame relay basically. So what they used to use some frame relay switches on the environment, right? And these particular switches, ATM switches or frame relay, they will also use to provide you the connectivity between your head office and branch office basically, right? But these solutions are not that much efficient. So what people have developed one of the solution which is known as MPLS basically. And due to this MPLS solution, it has changed the entire behavior of your WAN technology. When this solution is launched, it is basically adopted by most of the organization. Still, I can see still people are using leased line, guys. P2P links is still there, but nowadays most of the organization, they are using MPLS solution, guys, in their environment. Why they are using this MPLS solution? Because you will get the service level agreement. Let me give you, let me just tell you what's this SLA and why basically this MPLS solution is very, very popular. Nowadays also people are using this particular solution. So what happens now? What these service providers, they have basically come up with, they have come up with here one more new solution. That solution is known as MPLS solution. Means you have here your service provider router. Let's suppose you have here R10. This is a service provider router, and after that here you have multiple other routers as well, guys, because this is your service provider network, right? You have here, let's say, R11 router, and you have here this is your R12 router. Let's suppose this is your MPLS network basically. So because through this MPLS network, basically, now we are advertising these particular subnets basically. And these MPLS networks, what they used to do, they used to tell we can able to run the OSPF or any type of routing protocol between your router and your MPLS provider router. We can run here OSPF BGP. Here also we can able to run OSPF BGP, any type of routing protocol like OSPF BGP also. So by using these routing protocols, we can able to easily exchange this particular routing environment basically. We can able to exchange these prefix. We can update these prefix to data center or your head office, or head office prefix we can update towards the branch offices. Now, and also this MPLS, what they will say, they will provide you the SLA. SLA stands for service level agreement, which means let's suppose you have a some type of requirement. Means let's suppose on the server you have basically put your web servers, okay, or you are having some type of application server here, maybe F1. This is one of the application you are running on these servers, okay. Now users from your Bangalore office and users from your Mumbai office, they wants to basically access this particular application. But the condition of this application is it can only able to tolerate the delay if delay is less than 90 milliseconds. If your delay will increase, if delay become like 91 milliseconds or 100 milliseconds or 110 milliseconds, 120 milliseconds. In that case, this behavior or this particular application performance is very bad, and these users, they will not able to access anything. So this MPL has become very popular due to this thing, because they have basically provided the service level agreement. According to that agreement, what they said, if you want to send your traffic from Bangalore office to your application which you have hosted in your head office, you will get the delay less than, maybe you will get the delay less than 80 milliseconds. If they are saying this thing, which means now when people will access this particular application, so their experience with regards to this application become very good, right? Because you are there is only delay of 80 milliseconds, and this application works very well if you will have a delay of 90 milliseconds as well, right? So which means that is the one of the biggest reason if these particular technology become very popular. Now let's take an example. Let's suppose if you will face a delay more than 80 milliseconds according to the SLA, basically in that case, what you can do, you can basically put the penalty on your service provider and your MPLS provider, right? So these kind of basically facility you will get with this particular MPLS providers, and that is the one of the biggest reason MPLS become very popular WAN technology, guys. Now, but still this solution is also costly. Basically, if you will take a MPLS link, you have to pay huge amount to your service provider, basically. But it is good because you are getting the SLA as well. So after that, what they have done, these Sianets people, what they are now again reach to the service provider and they just ask, your solution, which is MPLS, is very good, but it is also a costly solution. Can you just tell us some cheap solution? So this MPLS provided, they just said, yeah, there is a one more solution which is cheap or very cheap in comparison to MPLS. You can use the internet connections. You can use the public internet, basically, right? So instead of MPLS, now what people have done, people have basically used the internet connection here. In this network now, people are using, let's suppose, so let me just write like that. If I'll put here inet, which means this is your internet, right? So now internet is a very cheap solution, but the problem with this solution, you will get the connectivity as well, guys. Okay, how you will get the connectivity now? Because with the MPLS, right, we have seen we can able to run the routing protocol here, right? We can able to run the routing protocol between this router and this router, right? This router and this router, this router and this router. But guys, just remember one thing, with internet, you have the public IP here. Here also you have a one public IP, here also you have a public IP, but you cannot able to run any kind type of routing protocol with your internet service provider router. Even though you will also not allow to run the internet protocol between this router and this router, because if you want to, let's suppose, run the any of the routing protocol between R1 and R2, what is the condition you have to meet? If you want to run the routing protocol between R1 and R2, they should be directly connected. This is the one of the requirement. They should be directly connected with each other. If there is no direct connection, what will happen? You will not able to run the routing protocol, right? But still, so what happened with the internet? You are good to go. And after that, what they said, you can use the internet and you can also create here loopback interfaces, guys. Or I can say you can create a tunnel interface like tunnel 10. You can create one of the tunnel interface here as well, like tunnel 20. You can create one more tunnel interface, which is tunnel 30. So with internet, what you can use one more technology, which is known as GRE. If you will use the GRE, and you will create these virtual interfaces. These are the virtual, or we can say tunnel interfaces. In that case, now you can able to run the routing protocol between this tunnel interface and this tunnel interface and this tunnel interface, and you will get the connectivity through these internet. You just need the public or internet routable IP address into here. So let's suppose here you have 151.7.250 IP address on this router. Here let's say you are using 161.7.250 here, and here let's say you are using 171.7.250 IP address. These are the public IP address. Okay, and here let's say you are using 99.99.99 1/24. Here you are using like 99.99.99.2/24, right? And here also you can use 99.99.99.3/24. Like that, we can basically create these tunnel interfaces. Now, with the help of this GRE tunnel, we can able to create the routing. We can able to run the routing protocol, and we can use GRE as a encapsulation protocol. So whatever traffic flowed between this internet cloud, it is encapsulated inside your GRE header basically. But you will get the internet connection. But guys, the main problem with this internet connection is no service level agreement, no SLA. There is no SLA basically, and there is no security. Security also one of the major concern here, guys. No security, no SLA. This was the major problem with the internet, guys. So after that, now this solution was very good. You will get the connectivity. Your head office can communicate with your branch office, and your branch office will communicate with head office. This is a very good solution, but the problem with no SLA. So if your these links are not performing well, you don't have anything to do. Your ISP will not able to do anything, right? There's a one thing. The second thing, no security, because you are sending your traffic in clear text, because GRE will not provide you any kind of encryption, hashing. They will not provide you any kind of CIA properties like confidentiality, integrity, and authenticity. Nothing is there. So after that, basically, what people have start thinking about towards the another solution, which solution name is IPsec VPN. And guys, when this IPsec VPN solution is developed, basically, what happens? It's become very interesting solution, and every organization start using this IPsec VPN. What IPsec VPN will provide you? It will provide you the confidentiality, integrity, and authenticity. These three properties is provided by the IPsec VPN, which means now your security concern is not there if you will use IPsec basically. So what people have done, they have basically integrated two solution, GRE plus IPsec, and what they have make, or that solution is known as your DMVPN solution. Now, this technology or this solution become very popular during these days, guys, because this DMVPN now used by all the organizations. What this DMVPN solution is start, or people have start using this particular solution a lot, because what you will get the security. Whatever traffic is flowing from these users and these servers, right, or whatever routing information you are advertising through the internet, now no one able to see what is the information is going, no one able to see, because everything is encrypted and hashed, and they will also make sure you are communicating with the right person. Or don't worry, guys, I will discuss the cryptography, okay, because this thing I will cover in your third class basically, because you have to know some network security knowledge to work with the SD-WAN solutions, guys. Okay, so I will discuss your DTLS, SSL, everything on that class. Okay, now, so your DMVPN become very popular, guys. Now, The main problem with this DMVPN solution, let's suppose here I just have a 3 sites. Let's suppose you have around 2000 sites, which means with this router now you are creating 2000 VPN tunnels. Your branch offices router, they will also create a 2000 tunnels, right? Let's suppose you want to do any kind of traffic engineer, means let's say you want to achieve a hub and spoke kind of topology, where all the traffic will go through with that to your data center. Let's say these users, they wants to communicate with your branch office in Bangalore, then that traffic will go to data center first, then it will go to this particular site. So if you want these kind of traffic engineering with DMVPN, it's become very hard to manage. Basically it's become very complex solution, because now think about it, you have a 2000 sites, now you have to create a 2000 VPN tunnel, you have to write the configuration, and let's suppose if something bad happens, all maybe your infrastructure went down, troubleshooting of your VPNs has become very tedious job during that time. So what people have done, they have done one small thing. They have basically, this is your DMVPN solution. On this DMVPN solution, what they have add some kind of programming. With this DMVPN solution, they have added some programming, and the solution which they make with the help of this DMVPN and this programming is known as your SD-WAN solution. Software defined wide area networking. So this is how your WAN evaluation happens. Basically, WAN evaluation started from your leased line, then your frame relay solution, right? And after that, they have come up with the Mpls solution, right? Then they have come up with the GRE, then IPsec over GRE, which is your DMVPN, and on that they have added some programming, and this become your SD-WAN solution. So that's how your SD-WAN basically come in a picture, guys. This is the some history of your WAN, and that's how your WAN is started, guys. Now, so generally, guys, if I'll say, what are the transport generally we generally use to connect your data center with your head office, or your branch office with the head office, or with the data centers, right? So generally nowadays, the most popular technology, which is MPLS. So every organization, they are using MPLS because it is providing the SLA, guys. Lease line solution is also there, and people are using internet as well, but this internet they are using, and they are basically creating the IPsec tunnel. This is also known as your DMVPN. They're also using your 4G network as well, where you don't have MPLS connectivity or internet connectivity like in some villages and all. In that case, there they will use your 4G and LTE network. They are using satellite network as well. You can use the wireless WIGMAX devices as well for as a WAN devices, basically for connecting your branches with the data center, or your data center with the branches, guys. So just remember, guys, your SD-WAN will not replace these particular physical technologies. This is known as your underlay technology, guys. This is your underlay technology. Underlay technology means what we are doing here. We are sending these routing information, right? On the using these particular transports, right? So this transport is known as your underlay transport, guys. This is your underlay transport, and now these network we are sending under this over this transport. So that's why this is known as your overlay technology or overlay networks, basically. So this is your underlay and overlay. So your SD-WAN is a overlay technology, guys. What is the SD? So SD-WAN is a your overlay technology, and it will use any type of transports like your MPLS, your internet, your 4G, for basically advertising the routing information with your branches and your head offices, guys. Now, let me, so guys, if I'll explain you the typical design of a network basically, so I will go with like what are the devices we will see in your data center generally. So we have a edge routers, we have a firewalls, we have a load balancers, right? We have a core switches or core routers, we have a access layer switches, and we have a servers. So these kind of devices generally you will see in the data center. In your campus or in your head office, you have a router, you have a switches, you have a wireless LAN controllers, access point, your employees systems, your internet circuits, right? Your MPLS circuits and your 4G circuit. And your branches also you will see routers, switches, wireless LAN controllers, internet circuit and all, right? So these type of devices you will see in your typical enterprise network, guys. Now, let me just tell you one thing. Why we need basically SD-WAN technology, guys. So if you want to understand why we need SD-WAN basically, or software defined wide area networking, we have to discuss some traditional WAN challenges. In your traditional environment, what are the changes, what are the challenges we are having basically? So the first challenge is your latency or your application performance basically. This was the one of the challenge, latency. The second challenge is your when technology are expensive, like your MPLS, your leased line. These are the expensive technologies. Your security. In your when we don't have a security, right? So that was also one of the challenge. And after the security, we can achieve the security with the help of VPN, but Ipsec Vpn management become very, very complex, guys, right? So this is the one of the challenge. Monitor the overhead and centralized monitoring is not available. So guys, we have a lots of monitor overhead, guys. Means there is no centralized monitoring available for that. Management of your configuration. So management overhead is there, right? Your configuration overhead is there. There is a deployment overhead, right? If you want to launch few new sites, it will take months of time to basically bring the entire site up and running. So you will see some deployment overhead as well. You need a more engineers basically. There is a failover issues. There are load balancing issues. There is a centralized management is not available. So we have discussed scalability is not there. Quality of service configuration, monitoring, troubleshooting is a tedious task during that time. Your managed routers, they are not able to do the traffic shifting on the basis of applications, which means there is no application aware routing. They will have a just policy based routing or policy based forwarding basically there, but they will not able to do these PVR or PVF things with the help of these particular on the basis of applications basically. They only able to monitor the link is up or not. Troubleshooting is a overhead, and your cloud connectivity and dia setup is a overhead, guys. So how this particular latency, or we have a problem with the application? What is the issues with the application performance, guys? So let me just discuss that issue first. So what happens, guys? Let me just go with one step here. What I can do, I will create one simple diagram, guys. Okay, I will not go will create big diagram. I will just create one simple diagram. So let's suppose I have here this is my head office. Now in head office, basically, I'm having these servers. These are the three servers I'm having, like server 1, server 2, and server 3. These servers, they have a connectivity with one of the load balancer here. So this is my load balancer. Here I do have few users as well. So these are the users. Now For getting the security from any kind of threats and all, I have here firewall. Let's suppose this is my firewall, and this load balancer, it has a connectivity with the firewall, and this firewall have a connectivity with the internet. So this is your internet ISP provider, or let me go like that. Let me write down the internet here. This is your internet. Now here, let's suppose here I have cloud environment as well. This is my, let's suppose, AWS cloud. On this cloud, let's say I do have a few applications, and through this internet I have a connectivity with the AWS cloud, and on the AWS cloud I have also hosted few servers, few services I'm hosted here as well. Okay, and on this AWS cloud, let's suppose I'm also using this AWS cloud for software as a service. Like here I am having my Office 365 application. Let's suppose I am using, let's say here, Salesforce as well. So these are the some cloud force. These SaaS applications is also there. Okay, now let me just make a little bit like this. Okay, cool. And after that, here I have some WAN infra. So this is my MPLS network, and this is another internet cloud here. Here I have one of the router. This is my WAN router. This router has a connectivity with firewall and all. This is my WAN router. Let me write down here. This is my WAN router. It has a connectivity with MPLS and with your internet as well. Now, here I am having one of the branch office here. Let's suppose this is my branch. In this branch, I have these users. This is my branch 1. This branch will also have a connectivity with through this router, maybe R2, with the MPLS and the internet. And I do have another branch here. This is my branch 2. Now this branch basically have some users here. It is also having one router R3, but this route or at this branch location, we don't have any kind of MPLS environment. MPLS connected not there, only internet connectivity we are having. And guys, your cloud, this cloud, they have a connectivity with the internet as well through here. This is R1. So this is the network I'm having right now. Now, what happens basically according to our configuration, because on this server, let's suppose I have hosted my application 1. So this is my app 1, this is my app 2, and this is my app 3. Now, this is my MPLS link. So guys, this MPLS link, or I'm having the like same condition. If delay on my network is less than equals to 90 milliseconds, this application will work very, very good basically. And according to this MPLS link, what they said, they have a SLA. According to their SLA, they basically is saying your delay is always less than maybe 80 milliseconds. This is this type of SLA we are having with this MPLS people. Now, let's think about it. This is my 10 Gbps link. And let's say this is my 100 Gbps link. Internet link is very high because internet is very cheap. So I have taken a very, very high bandwidth link. Now, this user basically what he is doing, he is now accessing these applications. So he is always accessing these applications through this link basically. This is how he is going and he's accessing these applications. When these requests going to load balancer, he's doing the load balancing and all, and they are getting very good performance and all. When these links goes down due to any reason, when this link goes down, what happens? The traffic of these users, it is shifted towards the internet, and they are able to access these servers, right? So this is how the traffic is flowing. Now let's think about one scenario here. Because guys, these are the building block of your SD-WAN. If you will able to understand these things, you will able to understand the SDN technology. Okay, so let's suppose in every week, basically, every week on a specific day, let's say Wednesday, for 2 to 3 hours, basically, due to some congestion on your MPLS link, what happening? Delay, basically, due to congestion in your MPLS network, your delay is reaching more than 100 seconds. Maybe sometime it is 120 milliseconds. Sometime it is 150 milliseconds. And if delay is basically going more than 90 milliseconds, what will happen? These people who is basically sitting here, they will not able to get the proper performance of these application. Means this is a business loss for you, right? Your people, they are not able to access the application properly, and they are just frustrated because they are not getting the proper or better experience of accessing these particular servers. So when they are trying to access these applications, and also guys, because see, your automatic traffic will not shift even though you have a very good internet or very good link through the internet as well, but because there is only the delay, basically there is only delay in your MPLS network. And guys, in your traditional WAN network, what we have a policy based routing, we have a IPSLA as well, but by using these things, we are not able to monitor the we will not able to monitor delay, we will not able to monitor the latency, we will not able to monitor the packet loss, right? There is a packet. These are the problems we are facing right now through your MPLS link. Even though, because see, MPLS SLA is breached now, you can charge some money to your service provider, you can put the penalty, but because your application performance is degraded and your people is not able to work on these applications, which means it's a business loss for you. It will basically hamper your business, right? So now what happens basically? But guys, these problems, these application experience problems, how your SD-WAN has been solved? Because in SD-WAN, basically, we have one of the device, basically. I am just writing the name. Let's say I'm not putting the name of that device. Let's say it's a smart device, basically. Now this smart device, what it is doing, it is monitoring the performance of this link. It is monitoring the delay, it is monitoring the latency, it is monitoring the packet loss, everything it is monitoring. If this device, basically, he has found there is a delay which is more than 90 seconds or more than 80 seconds, what it will do, this smart device instruct this particular router, you can just stop sending the traffic through this link, you can start sending the traffic towards the another link, because this smart device, he will also monitoring this particular link, basically. So guys, with the SD-WAN controllers, basically what we can monitor these particular delay, latency, packet loss, these small units, which may leads towards the business loss, but because we are monitoring everything and we are shifting the traffic, and it will automatic shift the traffic from one link to another link if these value will fail. If we will find out this link is not performing well, means it is monitoring this entire circuit. If this circuit is not performing well, it can basically shift the traffic through the another link where you will get the proper, we can say, where you have a sufficient bandwidth, you will not get any kind of delay, latency, packet loss kind of issues. So due to this thing, basically what your SD-WAN has solved the problem of your application experience. It has solved the problem of your latency, your delay, because it will able to shift the traffic from one link to the another link. Basically, if there is a delay, if ISL is breached from this link, it will do the automatic traffic shift basically. So this is how it has take care the latency or your application performance related issues which happens due to latency, delay, and your packet loss. So latency is also jitter, guys. Okay, so maybe because in your we manage UI, we will see the jitter there. So that's why. Now, when technology are expensive, guys, so now what you can do, because previously, right? Because in internet, right? In old days, through this internet link, you will not get the SLA, right? There is no SLA, no security. So which means in that case, what you have to do, you have to go with the 2 MPLS connection. One maybe from BT, another maybe from Tata. And if this link goes down, you have this link to send your traffic securely over the network, right? But due to SD-WAN, what they have come up with this solution. Now you can use your internet circuit as well. You can use your 4G circuit as well as a transport for sending your traffic from branch office to your head office securely, guys. So what, at least it has saved some cost from this, because now you don't need to use the MPLS here, right? If you want, you can also replace this network also with the internet, guys. If you don't have a very critical application, you can replace the MPLS circuit with the internet circuit, because internet circuit are very cheap in India, right? Very cheap, and you will get these. So your SD-WAN is not a costly solution, right? It's a cost-effective solution. So this problem is also we have in your traditional WAN environment, and this problem is solved by your SD-WAN network. Now, security basically. So guys, just understand this thing very, very carefully, guys, because here I will introduce one thing. Now, think about the DMVPN solution here. So let me just go like that. So let's suppose you have a same type of network. You have a router R1, R2, R3, right? And now think about it. Now you have to configure the VPN between your R1 router and your R2 router through MPLS and through internet as a backup. You have to configure the VPN between R1 router and R3 router, right? So these kind of IPsec VPN configuration, you have to do it via manual. This is the one thing. You have to do the manual IPsec configuration. You have to basically in IPsec, if you know, for providing the authenticity, they will use the certificate, which is PKI, or they will use the preset key. We have to securely write or save these preset key as well somewhere, right? Now, the third issue, what you will get the lots of issue with regards to the T-suit. You have to, if something bad happen, you have to troubleshoot your IPsec related issues basically, right? And let's suppose this link goes down due to any reason, then your IPsec tunnel will create here. Now let's think about the broader way, guys. Let's suppose you have one head office and you have here 2000 or maybe 3000 branch offices. And due to any reason, this ISP is flapped. It is flapping maybe in every 10 minutes. This ISP connection is flapping. So what will happen? All your 2000 or these 3000 sites, what They will build your IPsec tunnel. They will tear down your IPsec tunnel, again build, because your ISP is flapping. If your ISP is flapping, which means just see the performance or CPU utilization on this particular router, because they have to go through with the phase 1 exchange of your IPsec, your phase 2 exchange of your IPsec, right? And they have to create the session keys, they have to do lots of computation. If they will do these computation, which means it will basically take lots of CPU, and your crypto process on your routers, it will basically maybe consume entire CPU, maybe it will consume entire RAM of your router. Such kind, maybe your router is basically hanged for some time, maybe it's just went down because your IPsec or your crypto process is basically hanged. So such kind of issues also you will face, guys. But with the help of SD-WAN, what they will do, they have introduced one smart device, guys. I'm not putting the name of that smart device because I will put the name tomorrow. So let me just put, this is one of the smart device. What this device will say, you can basically create a adjacency with this smart device. All your WAN devices, they will just have some type of adjacency with this smart device. Now in your IPsec VPN, if you remember, we have to go through with phase 1 and phase 2 exchange, which is a CPU intensive job. Now what they used to do, they will not is doing any kind of phase 1 phase 2 exchange with each other, guys. What they are simply sharing the crypto key, the key which they will use for encrypting your traffic, decrypting your traffic, for your hashing of your traffic. What all these crypto key they will basically share with this smart device. So your R2 will share his crypto key with the smart device. Now this is smart device will update the R2 key with R1 and R3 basically. This R3 he will share his crypto key with the smart device. So guys, now there is no phase 1 and phase 2 exchange. Even though you can troubleshoot all the IPsec related issues from here, you don't need to do any kind of manual configuration, guys. All configuration will taken care automatically by the SD-WAN technology. If any, they will also basically, there is a one protocol or running. I'm just writing here BFD. This protocol is running here. It will monitor these particular links. It will monitor your IPsec tunnel. If there is any tunnel who is having some issue, your traffic route right away shifted to the other tunnel, guys. So now see, your manual configuration is removed for IPsec. Your CPU utilization is very less because we are sharing this particular key directly with these routers through the smart device, right? So these kind of challenges is basically solved by the SD-WAN solution, guys. This is also one of the major issue which we were facing in your traditional WAN, and this problem is solved by the SD-WAN easily. Means your IPsec VPN management is very, very easy nowadays, guys. Now, the second thing, monitoring overhead, guys. Let's suppose in SD-WAN, what they have done, they have introduced one controller here, guys. Let's suppose this is one of the controller. What they have done, this controller basically what it is doing, it has a connectivity with all your routers, basically all your WAN edge routers. It has a connectivity with this controller, and it is fetching all the information. It is fetching all the monitoring, all the status of these interfaces, CPU utilization, your memory utilization, what is the connection count, everything. It is basically fetching. It is basically these WAN edge router is providing to this controller. And now we are basically able to see everything from here. Even though let's suppose you want to do any kind of configuration on, let's say on this router, we can able to do it from here. If you want to do any kind of configuration on this router, we can able to do it from here. If you want to do any changes, let's say you want to configure the OSPF between these LAN sites, between this LAN network. We can do it from here, which means now see monitoring we are basically getting the single pane of glass for the monitoring purpose, single pane of glass for the configuration purpose, right? And single pane of glass for the troubleshooting purpose. From here, from this controller, we can able to troubleshoot the issues basically. We can troubleshoot the connectivity issues. We can run the trace route. If you want to ping this PC and this PC, this server, we can able to ping from here. Even though we can able to log in on this device via SHS from this controller dashboard only. So see, the management is become very easy. Your troubleshooting become very easy. And even though we can able to monitor the health of these devices as well. So your monitoring become very easy, guys. So this is also one of the problem which we have in our traditional WAN. And this problem is solved by your SD-WAN, guys. So that is one of the reason we are using SD-WAN now. So management, we have covered this part as well. Deployment overhead, guys. Let's suppose, what is this deployment overhead now? Let's see. Let's suppose you want to basically deploy 100 more branches now. And the best part of these branches, your branch office 1, branch office 2, and your next 100 branches, they have a same type of interfaces. They are running same routing protocol on their LAN side, which means what we can do, we can create some kind of same configuration. Let's suppose they want to run the OSPF, right? So we can create one OSPF template here, right? We can create like this interface configuration template. Let's say you want some kind of security policies, some ACLs. We can create these ACL template. Only on these template, what are the value will change? Only your IP address will change, right? So what we can do, maybe your IP address will change, maybe your OSPF ID will change or router ID will change. For that, we can create a variables. For that, what we can able to create the variables, and we can use any kind of Excel or CSV files. We can write the value of these variables into these CSV file and we can upload directly. All these things we can able to do it from one single controller, guys. Means we can able to configure all these sites from this single controller, which means now if you want to make these 100 sites up and running, we can able to do it easily. Your configuration of these sites become very easy. One more thing, they will support with the help of zero touch provisioning, ZTP, or with the help of plug and play. These are the two auto provisioning solution is also provided by the Cisco, which means on these 100 devices, basically on these 100 sites, whatever WAN routers you are having, you have to go with the very minimal configuration. You have to just configure the IP address, maybe that's it. You have to configure IP address only, or if you have any DHCP server, they will get the IP address from DHCP server, and everything they will basically find their controllers, everything will happen automatically, guys. So your deployment is become very easy. Even though one WAN as router, you can deploy within 10 to 15 minutes, guys, because you can create your configuration from previous only. You have to just push the configuration when you get the connectivity with this WAN router. So your deployment overhead is very less on this device, guys. Now, so guys, because see now, as you know, we are basically able to program the things, right? And your SD-WAN, what we can able to program the things basically. So if we can able to program the things, which means we need a very less workforce. We need a very less network engineers basically for solving these problems, right? So you need a very less workforce with the SD-WAN solution, but in WAN we have a more network engineers. We need a network engineers on each and every sites, guys. And after that, we have a failover issues. There is so in traditional when we don't have a automatic failover, right? So guys, in your traditional when this particular, let's suppose right now your traffic is flowing into this direction. Now when your traffic will basically start flowing from this direction, there's only one situation when your link goes down, right? When your link goes down with this, then only your traffic will shift to this link. But guys, with the help of SD-WAN, you can shift the traffic by monitoring the latency, jitter, delay, packet loss on the link, and you can basically send the traffic. Now you can also able to send the traffic. If you want to send the traffic on your old band, you can able to configure the policy based routing, guys, right? Where you can only able to include the source prefix and destination prefix, right? But in nowadays we can basically use the application aware routing, means we can shift the traffic on the basis of applications as well, guys. So this is also one of the benefit we will get with the SD-WAN solution, guys. So there's an automatic failover as well. Load balancing in SD-WAN, we can do the link load balancing on the basis of application, subnets, port numbers, right? With the help of traditional WAN, we only have a PVR which we can able to use for subnet and port numbers. But in SD-WAN, we can use the application, which means, let's suppose you want to send the YouTube traffic and your Netflix traffic, your WhatsApp traffic through the internet link. And the traffic which is basically towards your servers, you want to send through MPLS. These kind of things you can able to achieve. If this link goes down, then your all traffic will shifted here. If this link goes down, all traffic shifted here. So this kind of control you will get with regards to the SD-WAN, means now your traffic engineering is become very, very easy. And after that, we have a centralized management is not available, but in a your SD-WAN, it provides us the centralized management capabilities, guys. Scalability. There was very, very difficult if you want to scale your network, but this scalability issue is also solved by the SD-WAN. Now we can use JetTP and plug and play. These two things we can use. We just zero touch provisioning, means we don't need to touch the device. We have to just put the device on rack. We have to connect the cable with the internet link, and your ISP will provide you the IP address from DHCP. And after that, this device is programmed. It will automatically find the controller information and it will join your fabric. It will join your SD-WAN fabric. So means everything will happen automatically, even though it will also get the configuration automatically from the controller basically. So that kind of scalability is very, very high. And also guys, your one controller, it can able to manage around 2000 WAN edge devices. So you can use around 6 controllers on a cluster. So it can support around 12,000 basically WAN edge devices. So here scalability is not a problem, guys. Now, if you want to do the configuration for quality of service, so your QS configuration, monitoring, and troubleshooting is very, very easy with regards to the SD-WAN. But in traditional WAN, these are the tedious tasks, guys. Your application aware routing is there. So you can able to configure the application based routing, means you can route the traffic on the basis of applications now. Like in your Palo Alto firewall, we can able to do that. Troubleshooting has become very easy because we are just getting the single or one dashboard from where we can able to do all type of troubleshooting. Now let's discuss this cloud connectivity and DIA, because this is also one of the biggest challenge now. Due to COVID, you have seen all the application which we were having in your on-prem, right? They have been migrated to the cloud environment, guys, right? For the redundancy purpose. If there is some issue with your data center, we can able to access your application from the cloud environment, right? Now, so in traditional WAN, what used to happen, if this PC he wants to access any application which is hosted on the AWS cloud, how he has to send the traffic? He has to send the traffic to MPLS. Then that traffic go to your WAN router, and after that your traffic go to your firewall, because all the security policies we are having here. Now your firewall will basically apply the inspection for threats, malwares, right? Now, and after that your firewall will forward the traffic towards the cloud, towards the servers which is hosted on the cloud, right? Now you will see your traffic is taking a longer path, guys. It is first reaching to your head office, then from your head office it is again going towards the cloud. If it will take these, if this type of path, basically what will happen, your experience with regards to these application is not good. You will not get the very good performance. You will face some type of slowness issues. Even though if you want, basically you can able to reach to these cloud application directly, right? So what SD-WAN has come up with, SD-WAN have come up with one of the solution which is known as DIA solution, direct internet access, which means now these people, if they wants to go to these cloud application, they can able to reach directly from the internet or maybe through the MPLS link. They can able to do that. But the problem with this type of access is security, guys. Let's suppose this PC is infected with any kind of malware. What will happen if he will access your application directly, which is hosted on the AWS environment, because there is no firewall in between, right? Which means these application servers may get infected with one of the malware. It can directly go till your applications, right? So such kind of problems you will face. But guys, in your SD-WAN, basically, in your SD-WAN solution, we have a C is routers, basically, which is Cisco edge routers or Cisco WAN edge routers. These routers, they have a inbuilt functionality of your URL filtering. They have an inbuilt functionality of your IPS and IDS. You will get these kind of functionality inbuilt with these routers as well, which means now your malware, your virus, all this inspection is done by these routers. So this kind of benefit also you will get from this particular router if you will use SD-WAN solution. And you can push all these kind of policies from your one of the controller into all the devices, basically. If you want to, let's suppose, you know, in traditional, let's suppose this router is able to do the IPS functionality, and you know there's a one malware is there, and now you wants to apply some kind of blockage for that malware into all your routers. Let's suppose you have a 2000 routers. Now you have to log in into each routers and you have to do the configuration. But with the SD-WAN, what you can do, you can just create this policy here and you can push into all these 2000 devices. So within 2 to 3 minutes, your policy will be applied into all these routers. So this kind of benefit you will get as well with the help of SD-WAN, guys. So these are the some WAN challenges which we were facing, we were having, and all these challenges basically will take care by the SD-WAN. That is the one of the biggest reason, guys, we use the SD-WAN. What we use the SD-WAN. So your latency and slowness, SD-WAN supports SLA, and we can monitor jitter, bandwidth of the ISP link and shift the traffic in case of SLA breach, and this traffic shift happen automatically. one links came up. Once basically link is came up, it will receive the traffic automatically. Or when this SLA again meets, your traffic shifts happen automatically. It will also tell you the point of failure or where is the issue. So this information also you will get with the SD-WAN solution, guys. These jitter in old WAN solution, you can able to basically monitor these jitter and delay with the help of IWAN solution from Cisco. They can able to tell these details, guys. Now, when technically are expensive, so all these things I think we have already discussed. Your SD-WAN IPsec tunnel build automatically, right? I'm not going in depth, guys. Now, all these issue has been fixed by the SD-WAN. So what I can do, I have already given this particular example, path to home to office, how these issues has been fixed, right? Because now we have a one device who is basically telling you the jitter, latency, all these things basically. Now, so this is the thing which I'm having for guys today's lecture. Now what I will do, we still have some time, right? So what I can do, let me just tell you one small thing, guys, also. So you will get at least some idea. Or let me just do one thing. I will start your tomorrow session from that only. What I can do, let me just explain you something regarding the laptop topology. So guys, for your SD-WAN, I am gonna use this particular topology. So let me just decrease little bit. I hope it is visible to everyone. Just ping on chat so I get the confirmation. Are you able to see it this properly, guys? Oh, that's great. So cool. So guys, if you will see in this topology, if you will see this particular, this is your MPLS router, guys. Let me use black color here. So what is this? This one is your MPLS route environment. Okay. So here I will use MPLS. So I will create this as a MPLS environment. This is my normal internet environment basically. This is my head office where I have one WAN router. This is my Palo Alto firewall. So I will, when I will do some labs, I need a Palo Alto firewall. This is my LAN router, and these are the subnet which I am having on my head office environment. This is one of my branch, which is Delhi, and here I am using CSR basically. This is my Dubai office where I am using branch. This is my one of the branch. I have another branch which is London. I have another branch which is Tokyo, and I have one of the branch which is New York, right? On all these brands, they are having two routers, right? And I'm using these subnets, these type of subnets like 172.16 series and 192.168 series, guys. So you can think this is my different network and this is my different VRF, basically not network. So we will see how we can allow the communication between lots of things we will do. We will see how we can send all the traffic to your Palo Alto firewall, and we can basically apply the security posture from here, right? And after that, we can see how we can enable the URL filtering and IPS blade on this particular CSR routers, right? Or this CSR router basically. Here, basically, you will see this is my P router, and here I'm having all my controllers of SD-WAN. vManage, vSmart. So I am using here two vSmart and I have one vWand. What are these vWand, vSmart? Everything I will cover in detail. This is my one of the Linux server. So I will use this Linux server as a CA server. I will also show you how I can make vManage as a CA server basically. Don't worry about this laptop topology. I am gonna share. I will give you my UNL file so you can upload. I will give you this file, guys, to you so you can upload directly and you can use. I will use different routing protocol like I'm using here OSPF. Here I'm using EIGRP, and on remaining branches also I'm using OSPF. Apart from this, I do have another lab as well, guys, another topology. So that topology is a basic topology. I have another topology which is the advanced topology. SD-WAN so for doing some advanced labs basically. Okay. So on that topology, I will basically go with the redundancy environment as well. I will put 3B manager, 3B smart, 3B bond, right? Such kind of redundancy labs. I will put these here also, few VHs and also. This topology is also ready. And I will basically use that topology also for some of the labs. Okay. So this is, guys, all about for your today's session. Now let me just stop the recording.